All right, we're out here with Cassian. And I'm just gonna let this little baby go by before I get him right out into the picture here. Perfect, so we're working on just being out and about and all that it entails. And in between distractions, we're gonna work on loose leash walking as well. So, Cassian has pretty excellent handler awareness. So what I want to be doing here, where he's not really under command right now, is just make sure that I'm pairing distractions with food for me. Good. Because he does tend to be a little reactionary. That was actually a really great distraction. That guy just like started skipping out of nowhere. So yay for us. Good. So he's already doing what we're looking to like set out when we pair food with distractions, which is he's like kind of created this conditioned response of good, of looking and then checking back in. Good. Yes, good job. So if I notice that he's getting like a little worried, yeah.
I'm not supposed to distract him.
Oh, we love distractions. We're out here for that. Good job. Good.
Good job.
He thinks you're doing a good job. So if I notice him getting like a little worried, I was kind of monitoring his body language in that moment, right? So if that guy like were to approach and he kind of, showed any sign of becoming uncomfortable with that, my first tactic would most likely have been to throw food in the opposite direction and like kind of advocated for him in that moment to be like, so there's somebody coming with some wheels. So I'm gonna like actually let him check in with that. Hey, how's it going? Good job. Good boy. Good work. Nice. So the lead up, and I wonder if I can grab that door for you. You got it. Perfect. We were going to be helpful citizens. The lead up to this, like he's obviously doing, everything's in place. Like he's doing absolutely 100% perfect with engaging and disengaging with distractions, including some pretty hard ones. Good job. Good boy. Yeah, and I'm kind of intermittently feeding. I've kind of put this reward on a schedule, on a variable reward schedule. So I didn't feed him that time. I could feed him here because we always love settling when we're in public spaces. If he's on leash and we're, just doing nothing, having him settle is obviously something I want to reinforce. So in between some distractions here, I want to see if we can do some loose leash walking around some of the vehicles as well, keeping in mind that that's kind of one of his triggers. So I'm just going to kind of walk up and down the aisle here. Be here. Here. Whoops. Whoops. I'm going to use the leash to kind of reset just a second.
You look like you're training.
We are.
Are you training the dog or is the dog training you?
Sometimes it's the other way around, that's for sure.
Thank you.
Good boy. What's that? Good job. Nice job. There we go. You're welcome. Perfect. So let's revisit that heel position. So I want to try to take food out of this picture for him because he can get there with just some leash pressure now. Heel. Good. 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 So nice loose leash right here. I'm going to use leash pressure to tell him when he's incorrect, but I don't want to use leash pressure to physically move him back, if that makes sense. It's a little bit of a nuance. Oh, we've got somebody with crutches right here because that could be potentially like a little worrisome. Good. So maintain that heel position. Good. Whoops. Good. Good. So he's technically still in heel, so we want to avoid him going out in front of me to get to the front of my food pouch. Good. So that could be something, since I'm noticing it happening right here, we're going to work on that on our way back. Let's see. Heel. Good. So we're going to like kind of start walking and then whoops. Good. Good. and then stop. I do like the auto sit when we stop healing. I'm not gonna like enforce it right now. I just want to make sure that he's not coming around the front of my body to get to that treat pouch. The other thing I would say for the human under the leash, hey, is making so good, good. Making sure I would avoid cross feeding, meaning I would avoid using this hand. Good. Hello. Oops. That's better. So don't use this hand to cross over your body to feed. That will cause him to be more likely to come in front. Good. Good. So let's test him out a little bit. Good. Good. So if I were smart, I'd have my treat pouch on this side of my body, on the side that he's on. That would make more sense. But I want to see if I can make sure I feed him with the hand of the side of my body that he's on, if that makes sense. So he's on my left-hand side. I want to make sure I try to feed him with my left hand. Heel. Good. Okay, perfect. I'm going to release him out of heel because I want him to start to feel and learn the difference between loose leash walking and heeling. So right now we're just loose leash walking. I don't have a side that he needs to be on. He can be a little bit out in front of me or a little bit behind me. The only rule is that he can't pull. So if he hits the end of the leash, I'm going to be using active release and stuff like that to have him come get back on that loose leash. So he's in a loose leash right now. I can start to practice calling him into heel while I'm in motion. So we can say heel. Good. He was kind of already there, right? So we're going to practice our U-turn. Good. Good. Okay, perfect. That was a nice little U-turn. So he's not technically in any command right now. I want to see if I can wait for him to not be in offering the heel and call him back into it. Heel. Good. We're going to practice the about turn. Good. Okay, perfect. Nice. Heel. Good. We're going to do the U-turn. I'm bumped into my knee a little bit. Okay, good job. Nice job. So that looks really good. So I guess the next thing I'm just going to do is get him out into the roadway just a little bit more and see if we can't see what there is to see with some of these vehicle issues he's having. Good. I noticed him noticing that, so I'm going to just pair that with my food here. Yeah, good boy. Perfect. So we're going to do this. Good boy. Hopefully my microphone is on. Otherwise, this would be a very weird video. Nice. So we're just kind of doing nothing at the moment, waiting for some vehicle opportunities. And I have the tendency to kind of I sometimes just keep my hand in my food pouch, which is just like a weird nervous habit of mine. And so that's probably hard for him, but that's something we kind of work through anyway. Oh, no vehicles. There was like 50 of them earlier, because that's how that works, right? So we'll just wait here. Good boy. Nice. Yes. Cool. I did see a little bit more of him getting like sucked into that. So I do have my clicker on me, and that would have been a great time to use that, but he heard the word yes and had a very similar response as what he would have to the clicker. So you could probably move away from that. But if he was having a stronger response, I would probably try to use my clicker in that case. But I definitely saw that moment where he was like getting a little sucked in, and that's where we wanted to pair the food. Good. Good boy. So I'm just gonna mark him there. I'm not gonna feed him because he didn't actually look. Good, nice. Hopefully that's on camera. Good. So I'm gonna mark him there, but he didn't actually look too much at that either. So having your dog ignore triggers is still a good thing, but I don't want to, I'm not necessarily gonna feed him for that rep. Good, that one is good. Wonder if there's a certain kind of vehicle noise that gets to him more than others, like a heavier truck sound. Good boy, nice job. So yeah, so he's been really good with that. We'll probably just keep moving through the parking lot without the camera, so I can just get a little bit more nitty gritty and get more deeply involved without being worried about if we're on camera or not, because I don't have my cameraman at the moment. Good. Good. Yeah, I could see him like actively, like you like, if I had to guess, he was very much aware that that was like a tricky, like a vehicle moving by. Sorry, I got a lot going. I got a lot going on. There you go. Yes, good. So I want to make sure he's understanding that I'm paying him for looking at that, and he's getting repetitions of calm interactions with that. Good, yeah. Yeah, he's giving it like side eye almost, and then now he's starting to engage. I'm probably not on the camera at the moment, but yeah, it looks like he's kind of almost choosing to ignore it most of the time, because I think he understands that reacting to it isn't what we want. But he's doing really good. We want to make sure we get those reps of him looking and looking away and coping. That's what I was trying to say. We want to teach him to cope with those. Oh, look, there's a barking dog in this car. Nice job. Good boy. That's right. I get points too because I'm holding the tripod while we do this. So we're really all doing super good right now. All right, Cassie. Good job.